Righty, welcome to those just joining us. Today is Wednesday, September 10th, and we are 1 week away from convention. So we're just talking through all the things we're most looking forward to. On Facebook, Haley says Mel Robbins. Yes, she has never disappointed. She's just epic. All right, well, I want to make a really cool announcement. We have we have some really good news about the events that we're putting on. So we've had lots and lots of people begging, please make it available to those of us who are not coming to convention. And Natalie has been burning the candle at both ends to find solutions. And we just found a great partner who's going to record them, and we will make the recording available for purchase. So currently, the Reimagine Your Business event is the recording ticket is available. The emotions event, it should be available here in the next hour. So just give us a hot second on that one. But definitely get the word out because we want to make the goodness available to everyone. We know there's some of you who are just too far to come, or just for whatever reason you can't make it. So we want to make sure you have access to it as well. So that is the good news that I have for you today. So you're welcome. Yes, I'm seeing lots of thank yous in the chat. You are so welcome. All right. I wanted to share a quick little story for you today. Many of you know and love Natalie, and I've told lots of stories about her, but I wanted to share a story today that I've never shared. So Natalie is she's amazing for a lot of reasons. She has just this incredible intuitive gift. You know, the way she does life is just heart-led and heart-centered. She has a way of serving and giving. She has the biggest heart I've ever met or known. She has so many amazing gifts, but there's one particular strength that I want to speak to today that might be more important than all the others, and that is the gift of grit. Grit. There's a movie by that title. I think it might be a John Wayne, but anyways, the story that I wanted to share is when Natalie was about 12 years old. Her dad was a cattle. He worked with cattle. He did AI. He did, and not the kind of AI we talk about now. A different kind of AI. If you know, you know. And he also ran a Tough Test ranch, which is where he would take steer, and it was a super rocky hillside, and he called it the Tough Test Ranch. And our father just passed a couple weeks ago, and he was 97. Talk about grit. This guy lived his life with grit. He lived a long, full life. And Natalie grew up on that ranch. You could say that it was a tough test ranch for the kids too, because um, he didn't, and nobody got a free ride. You know, everybody helped um, with everything from gardening to the animals, feeding. There was one day in particular that Roy, her dad, he was running a herd of cattle. I don't know how many, dozens at least, and he needed to go do something else. And so he had Natalie and Roxanne on horses, and he dropped them off miles from home and said, "I need you to get the cattle home." And there was a major highway that they had to get all the cattle safely across. So Natalie's 10, 12, Roxanne is 10. I want you to imagine what that's like as 12 and 10-year-old girls to be asked to do that kind of a task. To my knowledge, they did a great job. They were both peeing their pants. They were so nervous, but they got the job done. And to me, that is just one small example of what grit can look like. Um, so how has that played out in our lives and in our doTERRA business? I want to tell another story about we had two children. No, we had three, and we were expecting number four. So we sold our home in Provo, and we wanted to build a home down in Springville. And so we bought a piece of land from Natalie's aunt, and we didn't have a place to live, and she was like, "Well, just come live at my place." So we moved into her basement, and we had three children. Okay, so we had three boys, Max, Sam, and Ben, and we the house was not big. The only space that she had for us was in one bedroom. And so all five of us, Natalie and I and our three boys, were all sleeping in the same bedroom. And not only that, but I was working from home at the time. And so my office was also in that bedroom. So I want you to imagine what that looks like to have two beds, an office, and most of your day lived out of one basement room with, this is underground basement, like this is not the kind of basement like we have here. Um, but that to me is what grit looks like. When Natalie knows what she wants, she goes for it. And grit is what carries her through really hard things. Grit is this character trait that there are no excuses. There's no space for reasons why. You just get things done. And I super admire that characteristic in her. We actually did an activity just a few months ago where you choose your values, and there's a deck of cards. There's probably like 50 or 60 cards to choose from, and you prioritize what are your top 5 values. Well, for Natalie, one of her very top values was grit, and that's why it came to top of mind for me. Um, she didn't realize it was so important to her until she did this activity. But that is just how she lives her life. She appreciates problem solving. Whenever we have people work for us, that is one of the first questions she asks: How good are you at problem solving? Um, and she values it with our kids. It doesn't matter what life throws at them. How well can they um, be creative? How well can they push through hard things? Some people call it resilience, but the grit is more than resilience. Grit is being willing to just uh, lift yourself up by the bootstraps and push through really hard stuff. We've actually lost some of our business partnerships because some of our partners didn't value that. They felt like, they call it kind of a startup male energy, but you can call it what you want. To me, it is one of her greatest strengths, and it's one of her core values. So I just want to invite you to do a little self-analysis of how much grit do you have. We've made the mistake of trying to make building a doTERRA business easy. We've felt like if we created a system, it'd be easier for people. If we offered tons of videos online, it would be easy. And I think there may have been a fallacy in that whole mindset, because nothing worth getting in life is easy. Nothing worth building comes easily. And so um, for those of you who are wondering why it is that Natalie has been so successful, I want to propose to you that grit is a big part of it. You know, we get knocked down. I can't tell you how many times we've quit doTERRA. You know, we things got too hard. It wasn't worth the payoff, and we stopped. We quit. But her true grit kept her coming back. So wherever you are in your business journey, I want to invite you to embrace a little more grit, a little more resilience, a little more can do despite the challenges. So just a couple of thoughts today on why Natalie's so awesome. So hopefully that serves some of you today. I was just, as I was getting ready for this call, I was thinking about some of you and what you might be going through, and hopefully that serves. So I want to open it up for questions. So go ahead and raise your hand and we can bring you on live. Doesn't matter what your question is, oh, you know what? Oh, wow. You're allowed to talk without bringing on as a panelist. That's really cool. Okay. Laurent, bonjour.
Bonjour Randy, comment vas-tu?
Très bien, et toi?
Ça va super, merci. Merci pour le partage.
Ah, c'est rien.
I just would like to thank you for the incredible gift for the recording that we'll be able to
Oh,
buy. It's awesome because from Switzerland I cannot attend this year. I hope next year, but this year is impossible. So thank you so much, and for the grit of Natalie to organize all that.
oh, you're
It's
so
really
welcome.
wonderful.
Oh, I'm so
And
glad.
yeah, it's really precious. Thank you. And I would like to know more about what you just shared about when you made things maybe too easy for your team. And that wasn't a good thing, because I think I might be in that position right now. And I would love to know a little bit more of what you realized and how you change it, if it's possible.
Yeah, totally. So, um, so once we built a presidential diamond, we realized that was hard. And we thought that we could make it accessible to more people by making the path easier. So we focused a lot of our energy on um, the share success system is what we called it at the time, and and I don't have any regrets. The system is awesome. The system has served millions of people um, throughout the years. Um, I think the error that we made was um, telling people, um, just because it was hard for us doesn't mean it has to be hard for you. And so there was a small, I don't know, maybe it was only a 5% misdirection in messaging that we shifted our messaging from it doesn't have, from you can do this, but it's hard to you can do this and it won't be as hard. And so, it's subtle, but I think it matters. The more integrity that we can have with all of our messaging, um, the more attraction we have. And so, um, I wouldn't say, um, I mean, things have changed so dramatically from 15 years ago. The value of the dollar has changed. The compensation plan has recently changed. And so, even with the new compensation plan, I would be careful because I've noticed in my language, I've been saying it's easier to get to $500, and I want to be more intentional with my language and say, um, there's now a proven path to get to a residual of $500 a month. And so I want to get rid of that language of it's easier. I don't want to work with people who don't have work ethic. Like
Mm,
I've realized that the greatest lie that we've been sold is that you can get something for nothing. That simply isn't reality. That's the same lie that socialism sold half the world, and then that's how we ended up with so many communist countries. Um, and so um, something for nothing is a lie. Um, so I can't say that we've had this rebirth of um, of leaders and growth and success. But I would say that the more clear we've been with what's required, like we started putting into build guide, here's how many hours are expected to build to this rank, and here's how many months it's expected to get there. And it's not peachy. You know what I mean? Like the average time
mm,
to diamond is like 36 months or something like that. Maybe it's more. I can't remember. But the invitation that I'm giving us all, myself included, is to not look for an easy path and to not look for partners who want it to be easy. So just having clear conversations, having clear expectations around what it looks like, not putting on the rose-colored version of how it was for each of us. I mean, I'm very transparent with people that building a successful doTERRA business might be the hardest thing to ever do. And it will push you, it will push all your buttons. As you partner with people, you will find out all your weaknesses. You'll get very direct feedback from your leaders about why you suck. And so to me, that's just that puts all of us in greater attraction energy to be true to ourselves, true to our stories, and true to our prospects. So yeah, I wish I had some like runaway success story of how that changed everything, but it's more a very recent shift that I'm feeling in in real time.
yeah, and thank you so much for sharing. It's really powerful. Thanks a
Awesome.
lot. I think
Yeah.
it's important, and we might tend to say it's not that complicated, it's not easy, but that's
Mhm.
totally true. We don't want to attract that kind of people that don't want to make some effort. So
Yeah,
thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's really
absolutely.
powerful.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on, Logan.
Thank you.
Okay, I saw another question. I thought I saw a hand raised. Oh yeah, Candace, let's bring you on. Okay, so Candace, do you want to join us as a panelist? Okay, I think you're still muted.
Okay, there we go.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm so excited to see you this coming week.
Yes, it's gonna be great.
It is going to be great. I'm feeling like it's crazy, right? Because I would have thought I would have been more excited right now because I won the incentive trip to I worked so hard.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little emotional right now, and I'm not really pinpointing why, but it's I just figured I would be more excited. But it just seems like I think because I just started school, so I'm in school to be a massage therapist, and I
Awesome.
wanted to incorporate all the things that I'm learning with doTERRA, and I'm building and I'm doing all these things, and it does not feel exciting. Like kind of how you started out, like that
Yep.
grit. It is like ugh, I need my tires changed. That's how I feel. Like I need my tires changed so I can get that grip back because I don't really feel. I feel like meh right now. So any words of
I hear
encouragement or
you.
anything?
I totally hear you. I'm having flashbacks to the Natalie's first goal was to become a US founder, and you had to get to gold to do that. And so I still remember the first month that she hit. You had to hit it 3 months in a row. And I still remember the first month that she hit it, and she worked her tail off. I mean, she was pulling out every contact, every like it was such a big push. And then we got to the end of the month, and then guess what happens on the first minute of the first hour of the first day of the month?
But
You're back to zero.
yeah,
And I remember just how deflated we both felt like, oh my gosh, we just worked so hard and now we get to do it all over again. But let me tell you something that happened as that month, um, as the month continued. I kept logging into our back office, to take care of various things, and I started seeing orders show up. And these were people that we had sold oils to, and now they were reordering. Most of them had set up a loyalty rewards order. And that's when I realized, oh, that's what we're building here. We're not just building a love them and leave them type model where we
mhm,
sell them something once. If we're doing it right, we are selling a lifestyle. And when people buy into the lifestyle, they tend to buy month over month, year over
mhm.
year. I still have teams that we launched. Um, gosh, we launched this one team 15 years ago, and at least 30% of the customers are still ordering. The leaders have been checked out for 14 years,
Wow.
and 30% of that team is still ordering month over month. Like no contact, no
Awesome.
newsletters, no nothing, and it's incredible. So I totally hear you, and I feel you, and there's always, in my experience, there's a lot. It's an emotional roller coaster, because
Mhm.
you work so hard and you pour your heart in,
Mhm.
and you kind of expect like I'm gonna wake up and it's gonna be rainbows and unicorns and everything's gonna be changed, but you wake up in the same bed and most
Oh
people
God.
most people around you don't even know. You know what I mean? Like you're
Yeah.
so I just want to honor you for raising your hand and saying,
Thank you.
I'm going to make a difference in someone's life. And it doesn't matter if it's just one person's life. Like we are in the business of changing lives. And so it doesn't, it's not like you get a new title, a new house, and a new car overnight, right? It's a journey. And so it's yeah. I
Yeah.
And so you deserve huge kudos for being willing to show up day over day and to keep being a stand for light, being a stand for health,
Yeah.
and helping people with life change.
Yes. Thank you for sharing this space with me. It was needed. I was needed to be here today. So, shout out to my coach Terry Bird for being
Awesome.
diligent and making sure we all got the invite. So, thank you. Much
Awesome.
gratitude.
Yes, we're sending you so much love, and we will see you on the incentive trip.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Yes.
I was just looking at that the other day at the website and getting so excited. Dominican Republic's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Awesome. Congratulations, Candace.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I love all the comments, Candace. I hope you'll read through all the comments. Um, And Becky, thank you for the Tiffany quote. So good. This is real talk. Yeah, Candace, the other thing I would invite you to do is just get still for a minute and sometime log into your back office and find out how many team members you have. Maybe it's 50, maybe it's 100, maybe it's 300, but whatever that number, think about each one of those team members. It represents a family, and how many members are in that family. And I invite each of you to do the same thing. Think about how many lives have been touched because you chose to stand up for what is good, what is life-changing in doTERRA. And those people wouldn't have this gift, these gifts of the earth, if it weren't for you and your choice. So that's a super valuable activity. And I invite each of you to do it on the regular. Allow yourself to see the faces, because these aren't just numbers. These are people with families, with lives, and we get to be that change agent. So thank you, Candace, for coming on and sharing, and thanks for letting us celebrate you. Okay, who else? Okay. All right. Any more questions? Go ahead and raise your hand. Love the real talk, love the conversations. All right, go ahead and raise your hand or post your question in the chat. Somebody asked, first of all, if you can buy the recording without buying the in-person ticket, and yes, you can. It's only a $15 ticket for the business training. And the emotions training, I haven't heard yet what the price is, so stay tuned on that one. I might check right now just to see. Jeff is asking, what is your event about this year? Let me show the screen for the business training. So we've got an awesome lineup. Many of you know many of these names, I'm sure. Lindsay Norman, Matt Hall, the Bybees, Amy Fulmer, Laura Jacobs, Seth Risame, an awesome lineup. So Lindsay kind of gave the keynote speech at leadership, and the feedback that we got was everybody totally wished that she ran all of leadership, that she was that she organized and chose the whole thing. So she has helped us plan a lot of this particular training. I would say that she has the fastest growing team in all of the US and Canada. She's got a great team in Canada as well. So the content will be what's working. What's working currently. This isn't like a throwback to 10 or 5 years ago. This is what's working today in the fastest growing teams throughout doTERRA. So really great content and really fun presenters. Many of you know Matt Hall. He never disappoints. He is just pure energy. So we're excited to hear from all these presenters. So that is a high level overview of the business training. As far as the emotions training, that will be focused on what's new with the book and the app, but also it'll be more experience based. And so we're not trying to repeat content from from the same year from last year or the year before. It's really an invitation to just have a full experience, to be immersed in breakthrough. And there's going to be lots of somatic breakthrough. So basically embodying breakthrough, getting your body moving in order to have emotional breakthrough. Joe Thalstrom will be leading that. And yeah, it's going to be fantastic. So I was going to check and see if we have the recording for that one set up. I don't see that one set up yet. So stay tuned for that one. Great question. And just to be clear, it's not a live stream. So do not set your calendar to watch a live stream during the hours of the event, because it's not a live stream, it's a recording. So we're going to capture it, we're going to edit it, and then we'll post it later. So it's just a much better experience than doing the live stream. So great questions. Okay. Becky is asking if anybody else will be coming to our team party Friday night, so she can carpool with you. So if anybody else has space, go ahead and raise their hand, or just make a comment in the chat so that maybe she can ride with you. Okay. All right, there was a comment earlier about, yes, you purchased the recording at the same link as the live event. And just to be clear, all the links are at sharesuccess.com/convention. So let me post that link. And great question. Yep. So you'll click on the event. So this whole graphic is clickable. So all the events are links. So basically, if you wanted to buy a recording for the business training, you click on that, you click on buy tickets, and then you'll see one of the options is the recording. So you can buy that a la carte. You don't have to buy the live event ticket. So there you go. Awesome. Yeah. Okay. I saw a comment earlier about communism and socialism not being the same thing. I totally get that. I've done a lot of reading, super fascinating. They are not the same thing. Socialism, Karl Marx had this ideal that he taught of socialism, and many countries. He also taught communism was the stepping stone to get to socialism. So I'm totally clear. I know they're not the same thing. But I don't know anybody who sells either without selling the ideal of something for nothing. So if you have any examples to the contrary, please let me know. Okay, Ruth says, how long is the biz recording going to be available? Usually we make it available for at least a month from the time it's available. So you should have a full month from the time, not from the event, but from the time the recording's available to be able to watch it. So great questions. Okay. And can I just explain a little bit about that? The reason we have a cutoff time is because if we don't, we found that people don't watch them. So we've actually found that giving people a deadline is one of the only ways to motivate people to do the thing. Okay, Stephanie says you'll be late. Yes, you'll get the recording as well. Okay. Yep, nothing quite like a deadline, right? To get things done. We love a good deadline. All right, what other questions do you have for me today? Go ahead and raise your hand. How can I serve you today? Let's just see if I missed any comments or questions. Okay, Sophie.
Hi, Andy. How are
Hi,
you?
Sophie. Good. How are you?
Good, good. I'm so excited to see you next week.
I know it's gonna be great.
Yes, yes. I have a question. So I've been training with a Italian trainer. She has a community like with her name is actually Georgia Fit Moms. So she works with moms that want to train.
Yes.
She's an expat, and she's so one of my friends from Argentina introduced me to her because of her big group. And every month she does like a master class in the park, and she has a guest.
Mhm.
So I talked to her, and I'm like, hey, I work with essential oils, natural stuff, and doTERRA. She didn't know doTERRA, but I mentioned like we could do electrolytes or like even stuff for like muscle pain. I was thinking about Deep Blue or so. And she
Mhm.
was like, yeah, okay. So I'm her guest for her master class at the park on October.
Awesome.
But she asked me like, can you send me more information on the products? Do you have any samples I can try? Because if
Mhm.
I'm gonna introduce you to my community, I want to understand more what you do and what you sell and what kind of products you're gonna be introducing.
Great.
So, like top of my mind, I thought, of course, Deep Blue, of
Mhm.
course, the electrolytes, and of course, like Meta Power, because we're talking about
Yeah,
people that is training and fitness, and also moms that are trying to balance workout, work, and babies and kids.
sure.
Um, but maybe also the BMG. I just had like, what else do you suggest?
Oh boy, I think you've picked some really great ones for people in physical training. Um, you you could do
Wait, I don't know if it's me, but I can't hear you.
okay. Can everybody else hear me? Give me a thumbs up
Wait.
or yes if you can.
Okay, now I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay, all right. Um, so for people who are physically training, I think the everything you've mentioned is fantastic. I think those are great products for for workout, for physical stamina and recovery. Um, I think Mito 2 Max could be a good one because that gives you more energy throughout the day. It feeds the mitochondria. Um, let's see. The Deep Blue Stick is my personal favorite. It's not only great for post-workout, but it's also great for pre-workout. Um, so, and the other thing I love about the Deep Blue Stick is people feel the difference. You know, a lot of products like the VMG, it might take quite a while for them to feel any difference. But things like Deep Blue are just almost instant. Um, so what else?
And you prefer the Deep Blue stick rather than the Deep Blue cream? Because it's easier to do samples on Deep Blue than Deep Blue cream rather than the Deep Blue stick.
Yeah, if you're doing samples, I agree. The cream is easier. The rub. Um, I just I just love the stick because I don't get it all in my hands. But
Yeah,
you're
it's
right.
true.
Yeah, for samples, you're right. That is much easier. Um, let's think. I'd love to hear other people's ideas for physical training. What are good samples? I know that for a lot of people, breathe help with oxygenation, and
Right.
so that's always an issue, especially with cardio. Um, let's see. What else? Yeah, Ruth is saying breather peppermint. Becky's saying motivate. That's a good one. Yeah, I think you've hit the main ones.
Okay. And whenever she says, send me information, it's like, okay, it can be so broad, you know?
Sure.
So, um, is there anything in particular you would share?
Yes. So aromatic science has got the best research on each of the products. So have you been to aromaticscience.com?
No, but I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's it's fantastic. So let's see. I'm trying to think which of those products would have actual research on them. Oh, you know what? Hmm. Yeah, that would be where I would start. Um, so yeah, there's one more resource that I'm just remembering now. The Essential Life book has a whole section at the back. Do you have an Essential Life book?
Yes.
Okay, so go to the back and you'll see that there's research by product. And so go to those products and find that research.
Okay.
And if they love science, if they love research, that's really good.
Okay.
For those of you who don't have the Essential Life book, I've been hearing rumors that it's coming back. So I'm guessing at convention they'll have something. But Jacqueline is also saying the PIPs, the product information pages, also have good information on each of the products. So.
And would you give her like a 3-day sample of EMG and Omega and PB Restore, or? Okay.
Yeah, I mean those
Like, I
products.
feel like I'm gonna give her so many things. I'm like, because.
Yeah, the trick, like I said earlier, with those three products, is it tends to take people a while to notice a difference.
Right.
I mean, I won't go a day without those products, but that's what I've noticed. People only notice if they've been on it for a while and then they stop taking them. And so, you know, a 3-day sample of that is not going to do that. So you might, I would recommend the other products myself.
Okay.
Stuff that they'll notice a difference quickly.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Great questions. Congratulations, Sophia. That's super exciting.
Yes, I'm super nervous though. I'm like, oh, what do I share? What do I bring? What do I say?
You're gonna do great. It's gonna be awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Awesome. Okay, we've got a couple more questions. So Brenda, if you want to come on, and then we've got Jeff raising his hand.
Whoops. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you great. How are you, Brenda?
Oh, good. My book started talking and all the things. Of course, everything happens at once, right?
Hi, all right.
Okay, I guess I have a similar question. I have the opportunity to do it's an online, we're recording it on Friday and I'm just kind of trying to put the pieces together, but this is also for someone else who has a community, and the community is moms of blended families, moms and stepmoms and blended families. And I think mostly I'm talking about emotions, right? Like, because there's a ton of that. Yeah, I mean, I've done it, so I know. There's a lot of emotions with that. But I mean, like, I am like, okay, what would be the best thing? And I'm trying to think back. Like, we got oils first and we got everything like a little bit at a time. And now I'm like, you need everything.
Right.
Right. So here's what I'm thinking, and maybe you have some ideas of some additional pieces. Um, my husband and I talked about like because we've been married now for 20 years, and or almost 20 years, and we each had 4 kids when we got married, and they were ages 5 to 15. So it was a lot of chaos, and so sometimes we look back and we're like, what actually worked? So we came up with, number one, or one of the things that was really valuable to us was we were both really committed to personal development of some type. And we called our marriage counselor our continuing ed classes for marriage because we were just like, we need more more
Love that.
knowledge. And so, and doTERRA has been a huge piece of being able to get that personal development, for us, and making it accessible and stuff. And then another was what we call lovers retreats. Our kids hate that we call it that, but that is the truth, that your marriage has to be number one. And with that, I started using the oils because I just really felt when Natalie introduced me that well, the feeling was these will save your life.
Mhm.
And so I started using them and I used them on the kids and stuff. But when Whisper came out, which was probably maybe a year or two after I started, and people were talking about it and it was like really exciting, and I got it, and I remember the moment, the first time I used it during an argument, and it literally just like everything just came down, and I remember just being like, wait, what are we even talking about? And my husband was like, what just happened? So that one we call the marriage saver. So I think we should talk about Whisper, and it is available as a touch, which is super nice.
Mhm.
But that one is the marriage saver. And then others that have been amazing for us. The third thing is essential oils. And that's because you can change the mood and get stuff in the diffuser and things like that. So I guess like I don't want it to, it's kind of a podcast format. So I'm not gonna have like this is what we offer or whatever. It's gonna be like if you want information, how do we reach you? Kind of a
Mhm.
thing. And that is, I guess I just need some kind of clarity around like just do I do individual things, or like how do I give a good impression of what we have here? Um Jeff, the marriage saver is Whisper. But how do I give a good impression of what we have here and not just feel like, I don't know. I don't even know the question.
So it sounds like you're excited about every product, but we don't want a fire hose, right?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Cause like, I mean, when I started taking Lifelong Vitality and stopped taking it, my husband was like, can you stay on those vitamins? We like you better. So
Oh, that's awesome. So is it one podcast you're doing or is it a series?
it's just one. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just one. And I think, I
No.
mean, she's a coach for blended family blended mom, whatever, blended mom families. Blended, oh my gosh. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
And and I can speak to that like a lot because of the experience, the
Mhm.
experiences that I've had and the stuff that we've learned and stuff. But really what I want to the thing that I feel like I really have to offer, without being a coach is the oils, because they do so much of the heavy emotional lifting. I mean, I remember putting wild orange in the diffuser the first day that I did it, and my 5 teenagers came home, and every day I was like, oh my gosh, like they're all coming. Like, what am I going to do? And the first day that I did it, because someone had told me that it would help with the mood, they literally walked in. I'm sure I put it by the door. They took a breath, they walked in, and they just all just like congregated at the kitchen table, started getting a snack, started doing their homework. I was like, I have no idea. Like, it was just so crazy. But my kids,
Wow.
funny story later, my daughter heard me tell that story and she was like, wait, what? I thought we just got along. But no, they didn't get along.
That's funny. Well, it sounds like you know the audience, and so um, it's clear that you've got all the tools in your tool belt. Um, I would say um, wherever your greatest passion is, be sure you're ready to present 2 or 3 of those things, and then just keep everything else in your tool belt for wherever the conversation goes. So if it goes more towards nutrition, you're ready for that. If it goes more towards um, the emotional side, mood, all that, then you're ready for that. So I would just say um, be ready with a couple as your focus, but it sounds like you're well equipped with stories and real life examples of lots of other things.
So just be ready and roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, have some structure around 2 or 3 products, and some stories with those as well. But don't try to cover the whole gamut. There's just too
Right.
much.
It's too much. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. People, what do they say? The confused mind says no.
Yes.
So
I feel that like so
yeah.
much.
Yep. Totally.
It's just too overwhelming.
Totally.
Right.
Well, I'm excited for you, Brenda.
Thank you.
Sounds like a fun opportunity.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about it. So, and I do yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot because I'm like, man, this is really definitely something that I'm passionate about. So,
Awesome. Well,
thank
come
you.
back and let us know how it goes.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right. See you, Brenda.
Bye.
Okay, I saw a couple other raised hands, but they may have had to jump off. So Jeffney or sorry, Jacqueline or Jeff, if you'd like to come on, feel free. Yes, I love Becky's tips. She says, ask God what you should share. Can't go wrong. Okay. Feel free to unmute.
Hey, Andy, thanks for having me on today and your great story starting off with Natalie. That was awesome.
Thanks.
My question was, I believe I have grit, but that was from growing up in a dysfunctional house. It was very loving, but alcoholism always could throw a wrench in it, and you had to be able to adjust it. And so I have the grit, but I haven't applied it to our business. So I'm really glad that you brought it up today. And do you have a bit of advice in these closing minutes for that?
Just on how to apply it.
Yeah, where, how, yeah. I know
Well,
it's when they go into it's tough, you keep going at it.
yeah, let me give you a couple of specific examples. So when Natalie was doing yoga in her front yard and got the impression to share oils with specific people, one of them was her sister and brother-in-law, James and Roxanne. So Natalie sent them a little bottle of On Guard and invited them to use it. It sat on their shelf for like 3 months. They never touched it. But Natalie consistently reached out and said, "Hey guys, this thing we're doing it's really taking off. We would love to do it with you." Um, so
Mhm.
so and it was not only an invitation to open the dang bottle, but it was a clear invitation to do the business with us. And Natalie's grit and her gentle persistence is the only reason they listened and they finally said yes.
Mhm.
So the next step, once they were kind of open, they said, yeah, we'll host a class. We'll book a cheap hotel, a conference room, and space for 25 people. And so guess what we did? We got on the phone with Dr. David Hill, and Dr. Hill flew out to California where they lived to do their very first class. They hadn't done any classes. This was their first class was Dr. Hill. Guess how many people showed up at their event? 0. He put out flyers all over, health stores and herb shops and massage places, and nobody showed up.
Oh no.
So Dr. Hill called us on the way home from, as he was flying home, and he's like, "I don't know about these Bybees. Like, this is, I'm glad you believe in them, but I'm having a hard time right now." So I want you to imagine what that's like when you've put your name on the line to get Dr.
Mhm.
Hill to go to an event all the way in California, like a state, 2 states away, and nobody
Mhm.
shows up. That's grit. Natalie kept believing in the Bybees. The Bybees you know, it's only because Natalie believed in them that they were willing to believe in themselves. And so the next event for the Bybees was us driving out to California and doing a class at their home. Their home was a trailer park. They had an old beat up, you know, water leaked through the roof trailer in a trailer park. And that's where we hosted their next event. And there were some people that showed up to that because they actually invited people one-on-one instead of putting up flyers. So that's just one small example of how grit could look in doTERRA. You believing in people and not giving up, and persistent follow-up. You know, gently, persistently following up to make sure they use the product and to invite them to the business. And you know, did it pay off? The Bybees are now Presidential Diamond. They're one of our biggest teams. We love traveling the world with them and doing the business with them, but it's because Natalie had grit, because she had a vision and she did not let go. You know, she clung to that vision and to her belief in them and the product. So there's a quick example for you.
Thank you, and an inspirational one. That is great. And I bet the Bybees aren't living in that trailer park anymore.
They are not. If you haven't watched it yet, go to YouTube and search Bybee's Van Down by the River. So we made a video telling their story. I wish I had that. Actually, I think it's at sharesuccess.com/videos. Yeah, it is. So great little video telling their story, and there's video footage of the actual trailer park and the trailer where they lived. So go watch Van Down by the River.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I wish
Absolutely.
to see you at convention, but it'll be next year. We'll be there in
Okay.
person.
All right. We'll look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank
Okay, Jacqueline, I think you raised your hand if you're.
I'm good, Andy. That was a great way to end it, and we're over time, so I'll share next time.
Well, I'm here if you want to ask anything.
Oh no, I was just going to share something, so I'll do it next time.
Okay. Well, great
Thank
to
you.
have you on. Yeah, absolutely.
We're excited to see you guys next week.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. Okay, so Jen is asking how to spell Bybee. It's Bybee. So, but the quickest way to get there is just go to sharesuccess.com/videos. That's actually where we've put all of our favorite videos. There's a whole section on product videos. There's a whole section on business videos, and then leader stories. And so let's see if it'll load fast enough to share my screen. So yeah, if you haven't checked out that page, there are some fantastic resources here. So the one I'm talking about is down here under, oh my goodness, I just made a liar of myself. I don't see it here. Oh, there it is. Sorry, it's under leaders, not under business. So it's the very first video. It's called Van Down by the River, and it's super funny. Here's another one with James in it, James Bybee. But yeah, that's a really, really fun story. So go watch that, enjoy. And we will not be having a call next week. It's convention week. We've got an event in the morning. So we will see you all in either at convention or on this call again in 2 weeks. Thanks so much. We'll see you.